nobody's blaming you for being upset. It's fine.
Yep, that's what it is.
So how you been? Ooh, shoot.
Pretty good. I mean, pretty decent, other than all my teams suck at the same time.
Yeah, but that's kind of a given.
Not typically for me. Not really. I'm a TSM. I'm a Colts, TSM, and North Carolina fan. I'm not used to this. Like everybody being bad thing.
I mean, if there's any consolation, Duke lost. So there's
Yeah.
that. There's that.
Well, I'd rather win than them lose. I
I
want to
mean,
be good again.
give it time. I mean, not for TSM. You guys are screwed there. But like everything else, give it time.
Hey, they might be decent next split.
No, they won't. I I
I
refuse to.
like Tonser.
I don't mind Hanser, but I refuse to believe that Team Liquid's not going to make a change. I
Boo, they'll
refuse to.
probably be better.
Yeah, so they'll be better, and I don't know if you're going to get much better than the current sum of your parts. I mean,
Well, if
assuming
it makes you feel
oh god,
what?
I was gonna say
It
assuming
makes you
Blibbo
feel
comes
any
back,
better.
it's tough.
We have March coming. And allegedly,
You don't,
somewhere in the next 8 days, there's going to be an answer to all our problems.
you don't even know what that is because you lost like the second in command in Walter now too.
Yeah, at this point, I'm expecting it to be a sell to
Yeah,
Mr.
that's what I'm.
Beast.
I don't think it's going to be a sell to Mr. Beast, but I definitely think like everything to me is pointing that TSM's leaving. Like
That's true.
there's no world because like they didn't even replace Dominic. I
Hmm.
asked who did I get to talk to on I think Chime. I got to talk to Chime after they got wiped out on Sunday or Friday. And
Hmm.
I was asking him like how the internal the internal pressures of everything and the changes of the org affected him. And he's like, they really didn't, but he said I was really good friends with Dominic. And he said
Hmm.
whenever we lost Dominic, it really like sent a shock to everybody in the org that some of the players didn't really fully recover from. And I asked him bluntly, I was like, have they like who's filled his spot? He's like, nobody. I was like, oh. Okay. Okay. Well, that's not good.
Yeah, and if you hear them talk about their scouting department just being themselves,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well,
Yeah,
this is
TSM
a
just does not
team.
care. Or it's
Yeah,
not
like other teams have Viger V2 on their scouting department,
yeah.
and we have
Chowie, who's
someone.
also doing everything else.
Yeah,
Which like
Jai, who's our head coach.
here's the thing though. Here's a tough question for you. Is that a problem if TSM is purely using the money that they make in revenue from the league, which is about 2 to 3 million, and that's what they're using to fund their entire staff? Therefore, they're technically break even, unlike almost every other team.
I mean, to me, yeah, because your goal, where we started and where we're at now, is one of those. I mean, this could be one of the biggest collapses you have in
In esports history, yeah.
like in esports. Well, in esports, yeah, but also especially if they sell the spot, this is even worse than most professional sports I can think of. I can't really think of a professional sports team that not maybe they changed cities, right?
Yeah.
But most of them that were dominating early didn't just leave
Yeah.
the whole league. I'm not saying oh there was a merger and a lot of Pacers were an ABA merger, right? To
Yeah.
NBA. I don't know, you want to do NFL. There were some USFL turnovers there, but this would be one of the first times I can think of a team that started it just disappearing. Especially a team that was not small.
Yeah.
Was a very big part of the beginning history.
And just esports history and gaming history for that
True.
matter.
True.
I don't
I
know.
mean, I get they'll be a part of the game if they go to somewhere else, but
Okay, so this is a question that I was gonna pose to you because I've thought about this a lot over the last like 4 to 5 days.
mhm.
And if TSM went to the LPL, I would actually start watching the LPL. I'm not gonna lie, like TSM going there, weirdly enough, gives me a reason to watch the LPL because I have a team to pull for now.
It seems like they're going LPL because LPL is their whole management staff on the league side at least is like Taiwanese.
Yeah,
Uh, could work in LPL type thing. Like I know there's some whatever you want to call it there, but their staff could translate or at least help them in translating over. But I don't like I don't know. I don't know what I'd do though. Like as a fan, because I know I've said like oh switching like I'll switch over and I will. I'll still cheer for TSM, but I don't know who I'm gonna cheer for in LCS because I have to have a home region team.
yeah.
Like I need somebody I can watch on my time. Like I've debated a couple things like out of it like mentally because I'm kind of coming to the like realization I
You're coming to
guess that
terms
it's
with it.
coming. Yeah, I've actually debated out if I'm gonna do LCS, like pick a LCS team or go like LEC route. Because my only
Interesting.
reason for going LEC would be I can't decide if I want to just follow players until the players I like are gone, and then I'll try to pick a team. But I think I'm gonna wait for a new team at least. I'm not gonna pick the team who buys our spot. I think it would have to be somebody I love buying our spot.
What if Mr. Beast was the one to buy it? Would that be enough to like convince you to be on
Oh,
him?
Mr. Beast, I'd cheer. I'd pick his team, like easy if he bought our spot. Like I would start cheering for that team. But I wouldn't. If it was Optic, I would jump over because of you. Like I would
Don't
just.
tease me. Don't tease
Well,
me
I'm
like
saying
that.
like
I
you know
know.
what I mean though. I would have an easy like in
Yeah.
to cheering for them. So I would just cheer for them. But that would be so awkward. I've never had this like happen to me. Like have a team just say, "Hey, we're just gonna stop doing this completely." Like I know that happened to you and it sucks.
Oh,
So it's like,
like I'm warning you now. It is horrible. It is the worst
yeah,
feeling in the world. You feel like you're lost, like a puppy dog without a home, stuck in a rainstorm. And there's not
yeah. If
like
Moist bought the spot, I don't know if I'd cheer for Moist
yeah, I don't Moist is tough because like okay, obviously I don't have to
or
worry about it cuz
Toast or Toast.
yeah. Like I don't have to worry
Um,
about it cuz I have 100 thieves. So like it's not that big of a deal for me. But like
mhm.
for you, I don't. Do you follow like Moist Critical or Ludwig or any of like the content creators
Mm-mm.
there?
No.
Because like if I didn't have a team, that would honestly that would probably be where I go
Yep.
because I
I just
thoroughly
don't
enjoy
follow
all of
them.
Ludwig's content.
And the only reason I'd like Mr. Beast over them is because I want Mr. Beast because at least I know like the guy buying it would be uh bought in. Like
Yeah,
is actually gonna spend the money to win. Like because at this point that's all I want. Like I obviously can't change to any of the other teams. Like I don't even know what I'd do though. It'd take me a minute to warm up to it.
that's
Like
the thing. I don't think you need to rush it, and I think it's one of those that because I tried having that conversation with myself before Optic left when I knew they were gonna leave,
yeah.
and you can't you can't fully think it through until it happens. Like until they're
Mhm.
gone and that first game is played and TSM's not there, it's not gonna click until that time comes. Like
Yep.
even if it's announced like right at the end of summer and you have like all of Worlds and everything to
Mm.
prep, you're still gonna be waiting the entire off season. Like there's still a chance. Like maybe they
Yeah.
maybe TSM could like partner with I don't know fucking Dignitas and like you will go through every little excuse that you can. For the one that I clung on to is that Immortals was going to choose the Optic name over Immortals even after they announced Immortals.
Well, my thing is like I also just don't want to be a part of a rebuild in another country. like another region.
Yeah.
Like I just don't have any interest in watching TSM start it all from the bottom in China. Like I
I
just don't really
I
like
guess
that.
here's my question to you then as well then, because this seems like you questioning management to a certain extent. Like, do you have faith in TSM management, regardless of where they go, to stay in the region long term as like a commitment thing? Like, do you
I
actually
think if they
believe that if they go to the LPL, they're staying in the LPL forever?
Yeah, I feel like if they go LPL or LCK, I could see it. Like, because those are the two they're probably going if they're selling. Like, I could see them staying. I just don't. I mean, I don't really want to. LCK just doesn't interest me, man, because I
No.
know they're just going to get beat by T1 anyways.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know whose slot they could buy and possibly what players they could buy. Maybe TSM has the pull, but I just don't know if they'd even pay the money.
No,
Like,
there's no chance.
I don't know if they would, and I don't see them going LCK because they probably talked to LCK about their financial situation, and they were like, "Well, this league isn't for us."
The only
Like,
league that like has good financial gain and potential with it is the
mhm,
LPL. That's literally it.
sucks because LPL's like I love LPL, but I watch the highlights.
Yeah.
It's very hard to watch LPL on time.
And I think a lot of people learned a valuable lesson that VOD watching is not fun.
No, no, it's not. I do it for like teams I don't care about because I want to see good players.
Yeah.
Like I can do that. If it's a team I care about, that's gonna suck. Now, granted, I will watch like because I love TSM, but I don't know. The more it's just another off-season dilemma I'm in at this point because right now I'm in a terrible spot anyways to make a decision because all my teams are cheeks. So I'm like the depressed sports fan. Like I am that meme where the guy opens the door and he's like, "Are you okay, bro?" Or like, "Are you okay, son?" And it's literally just like colored in black.
Yeah.
Like you can't even see the kid anymore. That's basically me. Like at this point, like I'm shot. Like I watched Carolina just get destroyed. I watched TSM get destroyed. I watched the Colts suck. The Pacers suck. I don't have a team who's even made playoffs this year, which I don't think I've ever had that happen. Ever.
Wow, I think you're right. Because like even
Yeah.
during like the early bad stretches of TSM, like Carolina was still popping off.
Yeah. I think COVID year. No, COVID year couldn't have even been it 2020 because TSM made playoffs with the broken blade and Speaker.
Oh
They
god,
covered
yeah.
up for the bad year.
Oy vey. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
just
this is
this is
like
the
my
worst
first
year.
time, yeah, having this go this bad. So,
I mean, I feel
I mean,
bad,
but you
and
guys pulled back.
obviously I'm here to support you, but
Yeah. If I could cheer for everybody to lose in playoffs, I would. But unfortunately, one of you has to win.
sorry, Emily just sent me a text. Okay, just sorry, something happening outside of outside with her friends and shit. So she's actually going to be a little bit delayed. So we got time to work with now. Um, let should we just go on to 100 Thieves? Like I don't want to like if you got any more depression that you want to get out, like by all means, like I'm a listening ear. I'm here to help. Because my week was pretty fucking great.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should really move on to the good stuff,
Like
like the stuff people actually want to hear. You know what I
Like,
mean?
I don't look. We're here to talk about what we want to talk about, and everybody else is along for the ride. So, like, if we have to sit here and have a
True.
therapy session for an hour and a half for you, I will do that. I don't give a fuck about anything else.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I saw the point in chat about Immortals Loki having a decent top side. I agree. Balulu's cool.
Revenge
I
is
don't.
not.
Yeah, Revenge and Kevy haven't convinced me
No,
personally.
Kenvi like it sucks because you can tell when he's not on stage, he just plays better. But his stage fright is so bad.
Even then, like they have tactical, man. Like I
Hey,
don't know how many
I
years it's
like
gonna
Tactical.
take.
He's
I
he's a
like him
great
as a
guy.
person. Okay, good for you because you interviewed him. But I can be the unbiased, honest person, and you don't have to feel like you need to go either way. I'll
Oh
be
no,
the one to say it.
he's one of the bottom
He should
ADCs in the league.
probably not have that position in League of Legends. And I'm not saying he should be jobless. I'm saying he shouldn't have that job. I think he should work on a resume because you're going to end up like me. That's all I'm saying. If you'd like to join the army, you can call me anytime. But there are certain people, I say this a lot for them in pro sports, you just aren't supposed to be there, and it goes along with that argument that people have been doing. I saw on Twitter, and I saw you get a little involved with it, was people talking about how players are so overpaid that at this point, what is the price of what they're worth? Like,
I tried to bait it out of one of the lawyers that I know works
yup,
with some of the players and teams, and he's just like, it's lower than it, or it should be lower than it is. And somebody
that's all
followed.
he put.
I think it was Nick or Josh or somebody,
Hmm.
one of the people here followed up and is like, is it like double, triple? He's like, it's lower than it is. And it's like,
Hmm.
I was just sitting there laughing, like, damn it, I couldn't get out of him. But somebody took the bait and just asked again anyway. So it's like, I'd be willing to bet if the average LCS salary is
Oh yeah.
300K right now, and that's I think a
Hmm.
little high. Uh, average salary should not be any more than like 100,000, 125, I'd say. Obviously, your top end pros drive more than that, but bro, imagine if every player's salary was that, and you're getting 3 million in disbursements from the league. Teams might actually be profitable at that point.
Oh, 100%. Like, and player salaries should, like, the funny thing was us when we were talking about a salary cap for NA, like, because China was talking about it and they were like, okay, 1.4 million. You know, an NA owner just looked at 1.4 million, looked back at the profit margins and went, hmm. He was like, that's not good. He was like, and you get one franchise player who can be paid more than the cap, like, isn't counted against the cap.
Yeah,
Like, our owners were looking at that and just like,
licking their chops. They're like, we ain't gonna
they're
change
like,
shit.
that's tough. They were like, the unfortunate thing is, buddy, and they're gonna look at that roster, any roster here, they're gonna be like, this is where I think you could argue international success. Like when you want to talk about average salary caps, like you're gonna be hard pressed as an LCS player and what would you call it? The LCS like Players Association, whenever they make that like a union,
Yeah,
that's where you would be hard pressed, I think, arguing more than like
yeah.
600,000.
Oh, easily.
Like that would be about where it would be with that one player counting against it. And I guarantee you a lot of teams wouldn't go above that 600.
No,
Like even with the one player exception.
it was Kelby on Hotline League that brought it up, and I thoroughly enjoyed the point because it's fair. It's like if you were an owner and you are going to your investors and going to everybody else and saying, look, we are going to put together a great League of Legends squad that is going to win, and that is going to give us our return on investment. How? How the fuck is that going to solve it? Winning does nothing to solve your problems here. An NA team, honestly, I believe could win Worlds, and I don't think it would make them profitable. I don't even think the attention to the LCS would increase all that much. I really don't.
I think the one you would have to like your main point if you're trying to prove that winning it isn't going to honestly even save the current dilemma would be DK in Korea. Like winning worlds couldn't even get them to keep the players that they had that won worlds. What the players do when they won worlds? They
They
used their
dipped.
peak to go cash out.
Yep. As they
They went
should.
and cashed out.
A-
Yeah, as they
as they
should.
should as players.
Yeah. The players went and did what they should do and they cashed out. But that showed to orgs, though, at least, that you gain nothing from winning at all, other than like maybe C9 would, but I
Yeah.
don't think
See,
they're gonna
CNET might be the
gain.
only one.
Yeah, I don't know how much they gain though from it that they already didn't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not like there's a direct like the entire LCS doesn't benefit from that.
Yeah,
I don't,
because
I
honestly,
don't think.
the teams that could win worlds. So I'm thinking like, what teams would benefit from it? In my mind, it would be like a C9, 100 Thieves, or a TL. But those are already teams that we think are trying to be profitable. Maybe they aren't, but they want to be.
TL's the one
So
that I ultimately I keep calling into question because
true.
the more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm struggling to understand it. TL continues to say like this year Steve came out with that video that said, we are going to cut costs because investors realize that, we're not giving them the return. Like this isn't a nonprofit. This isn't something that you can just, coast on losses or break even. Like you need to return a profit to all these investors because you promised them a return on their investment. So what is TL doing? They're throwing money at it and I don't see the payoff anywhere.
Agreed. Like they're not solving their problems at all. And they won what they dominated 2 years, and it literally did
Nothing.
nothing for their bottom line.
No.
Like it
The
literally
best.
is the Miami Heat dilemma
Yeah,
when they had the Heatles.
they had the best two TL had the best
Yeah.
2 year stretch of any League of Legends team that exists in North
Hmm.
America and could not turn it into profitability.
Yep.
That you're not going to get any better than that. So it comes down to when are you going to reduce costs and when are you going to cut back to the point where this is sustainable?
Yeah. And
To Manimal's point, no, they did not gain a lot of core fans. Like, look at the arenas anytime that they fill out. The majority of people that were in the stand, if you compare 2019 or 2018 or 2019 to now, whenever TL was in Houston last year, it's a night and day difference. It was double if fans. That's what it was. And 100 Thieves knows that too. If we make it to the stadium, or if we make it to finals this year and we are in Raleigh, it's not like we just picked up a whole bunch of 100 Thieves diehards. It is
yep.
Double If fans, Double If and Bjergsen fans that hopefully we can keep a fraction of them afterwards. But it's not like that's increasing your brand awareness all that much. That identity is not tied to 100 Thieves.
And I'd be interested to see the fans that cheer for DL and Bjerg, which jersey they have too.
That's going to be a
Like,
great question.
because they probably, I guarantee you, people who are following them are at this point aren't buying all the jerseys because of how much journeyman they're doing. So it'd be curious to see like which jersey are they rocking in there? Is it gonna be actually a lot of Hundred Thieves, Double Lift, and Beard jerseys, or is it gonna be just like that? Because I'd say the Core JJ fans that went with TL, I think people weren't necessarily core fans. I think they were just fans of his idea.
Yeah. No,
And
no,
they were supporting him, they were liking his tweets, but I don't think they were people who would buy a jersey.
no, you're not converting on any of these people. Like you're not
Hmm.
turning these fans into a profit. Like Liquid Plus is a great idea to get some sort of monetization out of it,
Yep.
but nobody has solved the revenue problem. And like Kelby said, we scaled things up so quickly with no bearing in mind at all of how we were going to scale up revenue because nothing has changed since 2014 in terms of revenues. Nothing.
The
Substantially, that
only,
is.
I mean, the only org who was really making money was TS7. They're making their money with an app.
But see, that's how you're supposed to do it though. Which is why
Yeah, I just meant it's
I like that
funny.
method. It's the 100 Thieves method as well. Like 100 Thieves teams are
Yep.
always going to technically operate at a loss. But if you drive sales of Juvie or of High Ground, you can
Yep.
use some of those profits to then funnel it back into the teams themselves. So even
Yeah, the
though the teams
marketing.
are technically losing, you can get more marketing dollars to help fund it because there's a direct return on the brand awareness that you're giving. Uh,
Yep.
to Manimal's point, he brought up about universities and what like his original question. I just wanted to address this real quick. Was do I think orgs face a similar problem to universities in terms of bloated admin staff, aka they keep hiring more staff to do shit that doesn't make them money and isn't part of their core functions? Absolutely. The difference is that universities are nonprofit for the most part, and you can like it's okay to bulk up your admin staff because you have more runway. There's not this expectation of returning profit. And even
Hmm.
then it still shouldn't happen to a certain extent, but like to loop it in with the LCS, yeah, if you don't have a clear path to profitability in the next 2 years, I think you need to start cutting staff. And that shit sucks. Because believe me, I would like to make that swap, and I'm now friends with a lot of people that are on these orgs and staff with them. But if what you're doing is not leading to profit, to revenues, to anything of that sort, then yes, you need to cut back. We need to scale all of this down to the point where teams are sustainable, where the entire ecosystem is sustainable. It's not going to be as big as people want it to be, but that's fine. If we can make sure that we are sustainable year over year and just slowly grow that, it will take off as time goes on. Or it might not, or you lead to the next game. But if you have orgs out here that might say, oh, well, I can't just cut back and fire everybody now. It's like, well, okay, well, then enjoy going under in 2 years. Like, I don't know what to tell you here. Like, you got to make the
Yep.
tough call at some point. And shit, it fucking sucks. It really does. But we grew too fast. We took on too much VC money, and we have no potential revenue streams on the other side of this. Content
Yep.
spend has all but dried up as advertisers don't are currently pulling back on spending, and that's everywhere. That is not just esports.
Yep.
So I don't know what people want here, but I feel like it's a lot of people just sticking their head in the sand and hoping that we weather the storm and not addressing
Yeah.
the reality of a lot of people need to lose their fucking jobs in order for this to become sustainable in the next year and a half.
Which hopefully, like, I guess the hope is that somehow C9 can make it profitable, because I'd say they're the best team. Like, but right now they're our best team, and they're also probably been our best org for like 4 years now.
Yep.
2.
I
I
I'd,
don't know if
I'd
you
even
would
say
give
5.
2.
I think you go back to like
Yeah,
2017.
like they've probably been the best at just like being a good team, but I don't know what their finances are. Like, if they're profitable or not. Because we saw TSM decide they wanted to be profitable. They spent big on Sword Art and then realized that wasn't worth it. Which, I mean, you can say it was a stupid decision or not, but it didn't work, and they then went the profitability route from then on out. Uh, C9 has been just building slowly and maintaining a good academy system, and it's been working.
Yep.
And the question now is how they translate it to cash value, which I'm sure they'll be able to maybe. I mean, I don't know. To be
I
honest, I have no idea.
the thing that I just keep looking at is like the whole point of calling it esports is that you're trying to go the sports route, which is getting people in stands and monetizing them. And then selling, like, using that popularity to get people to watch online to then serve ads for the league, which is distributed elsewhere. But the league's dropping in profitability, or profitability. The league is dropping in popularity as viewership continues to drop. Somebody just sent me earlier that CB LOL has officially passed us on average viewership. So, what do you have? Nothing. You have one bubble. You have a bubble that's just waiting to pop. And Riot is not going to cut it off right now because
No.
Riot is still going to keep the leagues around because it's beneficial for them because it's marketing for the game.
Yep.
Like Riot's never going to let the leagues die. But
We'll always have China.
yeah, the thing is like the LCS might just shrivel up though. Like teams can go one of two routes here. You either cut your you cut your expenses, you reduce staff, you go full minimal, which is going to look more like 2013 than it does now, obviously with a lot more like proper protections in place. Or you maintain the status quo and you eventually shrivel up like Australia. Like I
Yep.
don't know what to I don't know what to say. And that's the thing is like think about it. What is off the top of your head, what can you buy from Flyquest right now? If
I
you're a fan
assume a
of
jersey
Flyquest,
or a hoodie, a dragon hoodie.
yeah, that's it.
I don't know. Is that it?
Yeah. So you got a little bit of merch and that's it. You have nothing else that people can directly help fund your ability to be profitable. People can't go to your games. People can't buy food and beverage at your arenas. They can't do any of this. And content is non existent. So what the fuck are you going to do?
I think like right. I don't know what FlyQuest does, cause like I don't know. FlyQuest and EG are the two that scare me.
Oh,
Like
EG.
they have no like deep base. I would say they're not a long-standing. Well, EG had Call of Duty stuff, but aren't they out of that?
They had Counter-Strike stuff, but EG has literally burned every bridge that they have. At least to
Yeah,
my
and they're
knowledge.
also
And
about to get investigate. Well, they're being investigated actively, and who knows? Like if that goes bad, I don't think they have a plan to survive that.
no, there's no way.
Yeah, like that's gonna be hard.
I
And
I also want to call this into question real quick. Uh, when did the investigation and like all the stuff about Danny come out from EG? Like 3 weeks ago,
when,
give or take.
yeah, yeah.
When did EG start slumping?
I mean, they've always been having this season. They've been having bad weeks and good weeks.
Yeah, but when did it clearly take a nosedive?
I guess 3 weeks ago, but then they
Now,
had like a
obviously,
2-0 week.
part of that was
Yeah,
getting
and then they were
COVID and
sick.
everything else.
Yeah,
But they, I don't know.
there's a lot of drama though. I see your point.
There, I refuse to believe that that doesn't at least play a tiny part in it.
And
Uh,
who I don't see the outside noise helping them in playoffs.
oh God, no. Like it
Because now,
ultimately,
what position are they? Are they fifth?
yeah, they're fifth.
Yeah, they're in a bad spot. Like
Like
they're
what?
auto losers bracket.
Yeah, like once again, we're back to the conversation that we had of, uh, if you had to pick three teams that you think are best for the LCS to be in Raleigh in a stadium, what three teams are that? Or what three teams is it?
Well, now it's C9 Fly 100 Thieves.
Is FlyQuest being in the stadium actually beneficial though? That's the question I want to raise. How many
Best other
FlyQuest
team you
fans?
got in playoffs.
I know it's the best team, but I'm saying brand wise.
No, I'm saying best other brands in playoffs.
I
Like
don't think so. I really don't.
CLG be it?
I think CLG beats FlyQuest
I don't know. I
easily.
just don't see CLG do anything.
I'm not saying whether they win or not. I'm just saying as a brand.
No, I mean as a brand, I never see them doing like
I mean, granted, I'm more in tune with a lot more of their stuff than most, but
yeah.
CLG has a pretty diehard following that I
Hmm.
think will show up in a stadium more than FlyQuest fans that just hopped on because of a few good players in Avali.
Yeah. I just mean that they're like CLG's fan base is so little.
I
No, like I
it's
don't
t-
know, but I know
uh,
Flies is too. And
I
also the CLG players just aren't interesting. Like other than their bot lane is really cool, and Dokla has moments of being cool, and then the rest of it is just kind of whatever. Like, but I see what you mean. 100%. You'd rather have them than Flyquest, because at least there will be people with a jersey in the building.
That's what I'm like. Ultimately, like
Yep.
I want the most amount of people possible having the most amount of fun. And
Yeah.
honestly, outside of C9 and 100 Thieves, I don't think anybody has I don't think anybody else is going to be on that level with them. Just by
No,
nature of the players on the teams, the
that'll just
brands,
be
and
how it
everything else.
is.
Yeah.
And I think Fly, though, I don't know, I think Fly having the players, though, will help with the competitiveness of the games, at least.
Yeah,
So
that's the
maybe
only
that'll help
positive.
with the
Like,
interest.
I think best
But
case scenario is you do have Flyquest, which is like the competitive driver for the other two. You want somebody like pushing the other two, but I think best case scenario, and the league is preying on this to happen, would be Cloud9 and 100 Thieves in the final.
yeah, it's just no. Well, I think all the average people, though, who aren't 100 Thieves or a C9 fan, though, will be cheering for Flyquest. If it's those three teams, you're picking Fly.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? If you're just an innocent bystander, you're going Fly. Like,
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
not gonna cheer for 100 Thieves, even if they have DL and Bjerg and what they did for TSM, just because the DL washout was terrible. Like, why would I cheer for him ever again?
yeah, I get you.
Like everything about him has been terrible leaving.
It's been,
So,
it's been good for us.
well, it's terrible for every team he leaves.
True. I'm curious
TL
though,
didn't enjoy it. We didn't enjoy it.
what
CLG didn't
uh
enjoy it.
what do you think is going to be the result this weekend of 100 Thieves Flyquest? Or, well, of all the games. What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. Fairly, I am still inclined that FlyQuest is good at the game.
I believe so too,
I know you probably have 100 Thieves winning
obviously.
because you are a 100 Thieves fan,
Obviously.
but I, from my perspective, have FlyQuest winning because I just
Understandable.
think they're very good at the game. C9, I think, is about to absolutely pile drive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, then
like
again, last year I thought the same thing, and
CLG.
CLG somehow put up a fight against them. So
True,
there's another world where I see CLG contesting, but
true.
I don't see CLG beating Cloud9 at all.
This
I
version
really
of
don't.
Cloud9 just feels better.
It does as long as they don't draft Jace.
Yeah,
If they don't draft Jace, then we're
yeah.
fine. The problem with CLG is like it's when you say depends on which CLG shows up. In a best of 5, they've proven this. It'll change wildly from game to game. Like it's not
Mhm.
even like, oh, CLG shows up game 1, that's what you're going to get every game. It's just not like that.
Is
And
losers bracket dynamic?
no, it is set. So, the loser of C9 CLG faces Golden
Plays
Guardians no matter what.
Okay.
For my own sake, I hope
Man,
CLG pulls off the upset because then C9 gets to smack Golden Guardians 3-0 and then it's easy.
bro,
And my,
there's a possibility that one of 100 Thieves or FlyQuest doesn't even make it out of this weekend.
yeah,
That's insane to me.
playoffs is stacked.
Insane. I mean, good for the league. Good for the league, but that's crazy. And look
I
at CLG getting like the most just I mean, I know I'm gonna sound like a hater, but people know this is also low key true. They're just gonna think I'm hating, but low key getting Golden Guardians is insane. Insane. They're gonna look so fraudulent the next weekend. Like
but I mean that's the nature of the 6 seed though.
it is.
No
It
matter who
is.
plays them, like it's gonna look even if you had dynamic seeding, like
That's true.
it would still be the same.
Yeah. I so you saw the All Pro stuff come out? Well, I'm sure you did. You did a video about your
Yeah.
All Pro. I saw the results
So
and
what do you think? Because I have my thoughts as well, and I'll
I
go
just
over them.
feel like Vulcan just gets first team at this point.
I
Like
mean,
just
I
handed to
put
him
Sven.
regardless of what happened. No, I know, but Vulcan won it.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, bro, what point are people just giving it to him?
It's getting Core JJ effect vibes for me.
Yeah, like
Where like people were
I feel
giving
like
him.
that last weekend was like the deciding weekend between him and Sven. And like, how do you
I
not pick Sven there? I don't know.
so here's my thing. There obviously I had a vote and I talked to several people within like the media sphere that also had votes.
Hmm.
Um it seemed like most people had their minds made up to a certain extent coming into this weekend. And I followed up after the weekend was done. I was like, "Did your perspective change?" Because I kind of knew where they were heading. They're like, "No, not really," and it kind of surprised me that it didn't change at all. And I was like, "Huh." Like, was it really that far different in your mind? But everybody's gonna have their own thought process. Uh,
Hmm.
it kind of is what it is. But I I don't get how Palafox was snubbed. That's one that I just sit here and scratch my head on.
True. He had a good final weekend. Like,
He had a good
I was also
split. He
surprised Gory got first.
Oh, I'm not. I'm
Like,
not like I was debating between him and M&S the entire time.
I just couldn't believe people just like, I don't know.
I mean, think about it though.
I thought
Before
last weekend would push him up,
Nah, but I don't
not
think that's going
Gory,
to
but
affect it all
M&S.
that much because well, M&S had a really shit final week. So it makes sense why Gory would be ahead of him. But
Hmm.
for Gory's case, he comes in if you exclude the first weekend of games where he literally got off a plane and started playing, he single-handedly changed that Golden Guardians roster overnight.
He did.
And he was the driving force of it. And that is like that cannot be understated. No, like even when
This is true.
M&S came in, I believe that M&S had a similar effect of unlocking Cloud9, but it wasn't this entire 180 overhaul that Gory
Hmm.
was able to accomplish with them. And that's just by Gory playing incredibly well in mid lane, being a consistent threat that allowed uh why am I forgetting their jungler's name? River? Uh
Yeah, River.
yeah, letting River pop off because he didn't have to worry about much in mid lane. And I don't know. It worked.
Hmm.
Do I see it maintaining this all year? No, I don't at all. But at least for this split, I think it's well deserved.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Like, I can see what you mean for sure. It's just hard. Like, looking at it, I know it's hard to vote on too. Like, it's not an easy job, but it's just like, I don't know. I was kind of some of the people picked surprised me. Like Vikla getting third team felt weird,
Yeah, that
a
I did
little
not get
weird.
at all.
I didn't think Vikla was very. I thought he was like clearly one of the more
He was the
less helpful
liability of
members.
FlyQuest.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
clear like impact was good. Spica's playing at damn near perfect form. Well, I mean,
yep,
close to it. Prince is Prince, and obviously they're having issues with support. But like mid and support are like the two clear like problems for that roster that are dragging them down.
yep.
So I don't understand why Palafox got overlooked. I I saw a lot of people call it out. I will just say I don't know why Bjergsen was on some people's first All Pro team. Being the super fan of it, it doesn't make sense. Uh, did
They're
Bjergsen
just
play
trolling.
consistent? Sure. But like there were a lot, even in the wins where he's getting caught out.
Yeah, you could have done Pala Bjerg at third team, and I would have let it go. At
Yeah.
least, though, you know what I mean. Like I would have at least been like, okay, I mean, whatever. Like, I will say the people who go through and like read every guy's voting list are just absolute psychopaths. Like,
I mean,
you
to
are
be
the
fair,
reason that voice chat doesn't exist.
I looked at everybody's votes, but that's also
Well, you're in the sphere of
that's the
that.
thing. Like I know everybody that's voting, so like I genuinely wanted to see was
Yeah.
like people that I know were saying.
I mean, I know in their mind they're righteously holding these people accountable to their votes because they need to be held accountable for putting whoever they did in first team. But it's like, bro, you are so deep in this. Like, there is no chance. I refuse to believe that people like are so worried about all pro teams that like coming down the year, because all pro in League of Legends doesn't matter
No, it'd be
other than you
fucking.
can just put it on a list.
Yeah, to my knowledge, nobody's paycheck or bonuses are contingent upon All
No,
Pro.
not that we've been told.
Yeah,
So if
so
they
it's
are, then
literally
I get it.
irrelevant.
Yeah, if they are, I get it. But if they aren't, like, you are just reading, bro, you might as well just read it and go on about your day. Because
That
people are gonna know if your favorite player was good. Who cares if they're on All Pro? Like, we know. Like, is Prince second team All Pro? Sure. Do we still think he's probably one of the most influential players this split? Absolutely. Like, absolutely he's in the MVP conversation. It doesn't matter if he got second team All Pro. So there's no reason to freak out about it. And Beard getting put in first All Pro, like, who cares? Is the guy an idiot? Probably. No offense to whoever did it.
it
But,
was Robert, the guy that was on the podcast with us, the
oh,
TSM guy.
well, I said what I said and I can't take it back. But if you really watched it and you thought Bjerg was first place, like, okay. I mean, okay. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to tell him. Like, Bjerg is not first team. Like, come on.
Yeah, I know, but
I know
it's
idiot was a
it's his
strong
vote.
word from me.
It's his vote, and at the
I'll
end of the day, like
apologize because we've
the
talked
the
before.
biggest thing that I just want people to take away from this whole situation is that I saw the comment and I called it out on Twitter, but it's like if you truly have an issue with how somebody voted and they're part of media, fucking tweet at us. Dead
Yeah,
serious. Because quite frankly, we could like a lot of people could use the attention. Like you're not going to
true.
call out any of the players for voting dumb, but for the media they're like, "Oh, I haven't heard of it. Like this person probably doesn't even know League of Legends." Every single fucking media person on there genuinely loves the game of League of Legends and loves the
For sure.
LCS. And it's like, who the fuck do you think you are, random Reddit person, to call that out just because you don't pay attention? It's fine that you don't, but if you took 2 seconds to look into it, you would see that the same person that you're calling out has been putting out TSM LCS content and talking about the LCS as a whole for what, 2 straight years now?
Yeah.
Like, don't fucking. If you want to call into question his logic, sure. Tweet at him. Find out.
Yeah.
Ask the questions. Have the conversations. But don't just sit here and spew shit on Reddit and on social media because you don't like it. That
Yeah,
does
I guess
no.
at least hope to try to at his Reddit or something.
Yeah, fucking
Like,
anything. Like,
because I mean,
God.
granted, it's a bad. Is it a bad look when somebody who's been promoting one team ends up putting a guy who very clearly probably didn't deserve to be there? Yeah, it's kind of bad integrity check, I'd say. Like, on your voting, you know what I mean? It's not the best integrity, but you gotta, it happens. People, it gets to them. And to be fair, I don't even think you could integrity check him on this because this is like a year you could actually just have put anyone. Like, none of these mids were that crazy
No,
other
mid,
than
mid was just
MNS.
a toss up. It
Yeah,
was like,
and none of them are
God
going to be
damn.
close to MVP race.
No.
Like, not even close. So
Well,
who cares?
not going to comment yet.
Well, I don't think Gory's going to get MVP.
I
He got
to be
74
clear,
vote
I do
points.
not, even though I voted, I do not know what other people put. Like
Yeah,
I find out the results of these at the same time that everybody else does. I just know what my ballot was, and whether people choose to talk about it preemptively or not is entirely up to them.
I
So
just mean that, like, looking at the points, I don't think a mid laner's coming close. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean realistically, like if I'm being honest, and I think this is fair for me to say without really giving anything away. If you just listen to the way people talk, it seems like it's going to be a race, an MVP race between uh, Berserker, Prince, Blabber, Spica, Gory, and Fudge. Those
Mhm.
are the 6. Those are the only 6 that I've heard in anybody's mouth on broadcast, from
Yep.
players, everything. Like, that's the only 6. So where it boils down to from there, I think is just going to depend on people's definition of MVP. Because
Because
we've
I feel
taught...
like
Oh, go ahead.
Blabber, Prince, and Berserker are like the 3 that I hear the most. Sometimes Fudge a lot too.
I'm curious because I will talk about mine when the time comes, which will
But I
be
know you
the...
talk to people more than I would. Like
Yeah.
inside, the people voting.
Yeah. I'm curious to know your thoughts. If you had to give me your 1, 2, 3 MVP vote, who would it be
Ooh, right now.
right now? Like, you have to order them because the order does matter.
I mean, I think I would do Prince, Blabber, Gory.
Okay.
Like coming from a completely, probably Blabber like Gory would be my debated though. Like it would take if I had to think about it for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those 2 are interchangeable to me. But I think Prince is like my MVP because if you look at the tools he had versus what he accomplished, like kind of insane.
I so I'll discuss my all pro vote in that regard because I was one of the very few that put Prince over Berserker. And the way that I've explained it, and I think this makes sense, but let me know if it doesn't, is that you could take Prince, put him on Cloud 9, and he would put up Berserker's numbers. But I don't
Yeah,
think you can put Berserker on Flyquest and him put up the same numbers that Prince is. I
I
think
can
it's
see
just
that.
the nature of the players, and there is something to be said about somebody that can make more with less. I think that's a
Hmm.
very important concept to grasp. So that's why, for me, Prince goes above Berserker. Because Berserker,
I
while
agree.
he's cleaning up in these fights, while he is consistent, he's not dying, his mechanics are great. When you have Fudge and Blabber and M&S and Sven around you, who are all playing on a very consistent level and who have been together for a while, it's different. It's really good, but I think it's different. 100
Yeah,
Thieves coach voted Winsome first All Pro team. Yeah, a few people voted Winsome first All Pro team as kind of like a troll.
really.
Yeah, I mean it's not like it really mattered. Like you could realistically you can chuck away 1 or 2 votes, uh,
Yeah,
and
I
be
just think
fine.
it's funny.
The one that
I
I'm
mean,
curious
to
to
be
learn. Okay,
fair, like to that, does FlyQuest bring him in?
no, they're not going to, but they probably should.
Ayla has been very sadly disappointing.
And I think
I wanted him to be great.
part of that might honestly just be, uh, like a bad combo. Like him and Prince
Hmm.
just can't get on the same page. It's just not working. Which hey, that shit happens. You sometimes you just don't click. Ask Doublelift and some of those supports that he's played with. Sometimes it just doesn't click, and you're
Player swap
so I,
Core and Ayla
that's what I was gonna say. I think that's honestly a an off-season trade that is legitimately going to happen.
could.
I think it'd be good. I honestly
Oh,
think
what?
it'd be good. Core JJ with Prince is exactly the style that Core JJ wants to play. And reuniting Yeon and Ayla, I think, is great for TL.
All right, but let's say FlyQuest makes MSI. You think they try the move?
I
Because
don't
it's
think
2
FlyQuest
teams now,
makes
right?
MSI.
Isn't it 2?
What?
2 teams from our
Yeah.
region?
I don't
Yeah.
I legitimately don't think that
Yeah, but I'm
FlyQuest
saying
makes it.
even if you don't, like, if they do, what do you do in that situation?
I don't know. I mean, if you're Cloud9, they were 7-2, tied or 1 game behind FlyQuest, and they made the swap to M&S. If you
Yeah, but
truly
I'm
think
saying a trade is a huge like undergoing.
it is, but I think if it's going to be better in the long run, then great. Like if you know your ceiling, because you know here's the problem, especially with summer. 100 Thieves is going to continue to scale. Busio and
Yeah.
Tenacity week over week have been improving every week. And that's only going to get worse as time goes on. EG, I think, is also going to continue to scale. I think JoJo's going to get more back on the form as summer comes, as we get closer to Worlds. And I just think EG, when they're back in studio, is going to be a whole other animal. Like, I'm more worried about EG than I am Flyquest in playoffs, which people might find weird. Sure, fine, whatever. But there's just teams that play better on stage. And I think EG is going to be that team. So I kind of lost where we were going with this.
Like you were saying, why you think 100 Thieves is getting
Oh,
better,
yeah. 100
and I
Thieves is going
guess
to continue to
why.
get better. I think TL is going to revamp and eventually
Yeah.
get better as time goes on over summer. CLG, we'll see. I'm not 100% sold on really anything happening there. But I just think there's a lot of potential for teams to get better around them. And I feel like, especially when you're dealing with majority import rosters or like majority, like different. It's not even majority import because you just have Prince. You just have Prince and Vikla, but you also have Summit who plays more of a Korean style as well. Like, I don't know. We'll see. It's not like they don't have a fudge on their team. Like somebody that you know is just going to get consistently better over time. You know
Hmm.
exactly what you're getting with every player from that team right now. So it's like it's what I like to consider like the baseball teams that are, not powerhouses to win it all, but right before the trade deadline make a bunch of big moves to try and make a push this year and this year only. That's what I see FlyQuest doing. I don't see as time goes on them getting better relative to the scaling that I think 100 Thieves specifically is going to be doing.
I could see it, but I could also. I don't know if 100 Thieves has enough time to catch up to them now.
Maybe
I know
not
100
now,
Thieves
but
went through
we're
that
we're
crazy win rate.
referencing summer though. Like I think if it's put
Yeah,
in spring, I
yeah,
think
that's
it's either
true.
going to be Cloud9 without contest, and then it's either going to be EG or 100 Thieves in
I'm
my
worried
mind.
about what FlyQuest would do. Like, I think that the landscape changes if they make MSI, because pulling off a deal to get rid of your support before MSI is really, really small time frame. Or like, I don't know if they'd want to do it.
I mean, they probably if they make MSI, they probably won't. If we're being completely honest.
Yeah, but I think if they miss MSI, then I could see them doing that.
Yeah, I can see a world where that happens.
Yeah, because I mean, 100 Thieves, while they had a crazy weekend, have had up and down weekends before.
They
I think
have.
is safe to say.
Yep.
They have their times where they're good and they're bad, and you never know what could happen this weekend. Because we could have seen that crazy dream run happen, and then like all hell breaks loose. They lose to FlyQuest. EG's healthy again and beats them, and boom, they lost to two really good teams, but they're all of a sudden out of playoffs. Like, and it's not because they're bad. It's not because they didn't keep getting better. It's because they played two. They played literally the second place and a team that shouldn't really be fifth, but is fifth team.
Yep.
Like, that's just how it goes. Like, it could be awkward. Now, granted, that can happen to any of those three teams. And I don't think EG, Fly, or 100 Thieves are a first weekend out level team.
No, if they do, it's going to be one of the biggest shocks in playoffs
Yeah,
history
I agree.
since the Cloud9 collapse in 2020.
Yep. I don't think any of them are really a team that I think like one of them shouldn't be making it. But I think that's also a good thing because it shows how competitive the league has been right now. But it also kind of shows how the not having dynamic seeding is silly. If you're gonna waste my time with a losers bracket, at least dynamically seed it.
I
Like,
mean, I I agree. I get the reason why it's not dynamic though is to prevent that
I
rematch.
understand they don't want that rematch thing
So
again.
I'm actually fine with it, to be completely honest.
I don't
And
know really
given,
what you do then.
I think you just keep it as is, for being honest.
Just what? Put a stupid like dynamically seed unless the two teams have played before. Then
One,
Don't dynamically seed.
You can't even guarantee that because you don't know how the winners final is gonna go.
No, yeah, for sure.
So like I think you're better off just keeping the system as is. I think it's fine ultimately. I don't think it matters all that much. Like if we're really worried about that, sorry, you weren't going to finals to begin with. Like,
True. I think it sucks because we're gonna end up with like CLG or GGS on the second weekend, and I don't necessarily think either one of them should be on the second weekend. Now I know that's a doomer thing to say,
but that's their
that's
fault
life.
for that's also
Don't
their fault
lose.
for not for fucking this up in the first place. Like realistically, if we want to avoid that situation, fucking Cloud9 beats CLG.
No, but I'm saying
It's
like
that
don't
simple.
lose if you're no, I'm saying like EG shouldn't have lost. Also.
I agree. That too, but that's what I'm saying. Like EG shouldn't have lost. Cloud9 should have beat CLG. If the top dog, if we're really gonna prevent this situation, then
point.
fucking like win the game. It was one game. That's all you have to do is
win the
fucking
games
win.
in front of you.
Yeah. Like,
That's
and that's ultimately why, like, people ask why I'm so confident in 100 Thieves right now. It's like, because they win the games that they need to win. Closer is just this guy that cannot seem to, like, get it together when it doesn't fucking matter. But then the second that Bjergsen, Doublelift, and Closer all have games that really matter, every time. Every time. They don't, like, they clutch it up. And like that is not something that you see from teams like Cloud9, from EG, from Flyquest, or I mean CLG did clutch it up, but that, like, again, as we've noted, they're very coin flip in general. So it's like, I don't know.
That's a good point. You just sometimes gotta win.
It's as simple as that. Like if we have a problem with Golden Guardians playing CLG potentially, somebody just win their game. And all this problem is solved. If Cloud9 beats CLG in that first game...
Well, no, they both play each other.
What?
Like Golden Guardians and CLG?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. People want... In an ideal world, people want CLG and Golden Guardians to be the two teams on the bottom side so that they don't play each other. We avoid the EG Flyquest or EG 100 Thieves game, and then you avoid that free round in the middle. But... just fucking win your game. It's that simple.
It's a very fair point, to be honest.
It's like, oh,
and at the end of the day, it's not going to really matter because you aren't wrong. Like, the team that gets sent home probably just wasn't meant to be there.
Yep. It's as simple as that.
That is crazy, though, that, like, between Inspired JoJo Vulcan, Bjerg DL Closer, and Spica Impact, and Prince, one of those trios is gonna be home.
Yep.
Which, I mean, makes it good.
Oh no. Paul cut out. No, Paul. No. Come back. He'll be back soon. There he is. Paul's back. Welcome back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at least though, the good thing about that is it means that you're at least getting a must-see game out of it all. Which I will give people. That is nice.
Anything else we want to cover? Is there anything else worth noting?
Just subtopic.
I'll let you pick out the subtopic this week. I picked it out last week.
Yeah, I was going through them all, but they're so long. Like, I don't have good reading comprehension.
If you got to trim one down or you want to pick something from it, go right ahead.
No, I don't. They're not really that long. I'm just...
You're memeing.
A moron. Yeah. See, my words are changing, though. Instead of saying the other one, I'm calling myself a moron.
Good,
now.
You're catching yourself. We're slowly beating the army back out of you. They mentally broke you down and built you back up, or built you into something. We're gonna break you out of it. We're just gonna force you to play League for 24 hours, but with no chat on, and you're gonna become the most friendly gamer in the world, or so
Oh.
clinically depressed that you end up hating your life. One of the two.
Well, we should pick. So we'll do both of them. There's 2 of them. One of them shouldn't take too long because we always make them take a while. But
Yep.
we gotta pick it. I want to pick it because we already kind of touched on it. We could run through it again. But the first one I'll do that we haven't seen is if you had to make an all-star team made of pure USA and Canadian players,
Oh god.
no Australians allowed. Who would you pick and how far would they go in either MSI or Worlds? And then what all-star roster would you make if you only import players? If only import players like Berserker were rejected.
Okay, so
Oh,
basically,
like if we could pick
if
our
you could.
imports? Yeah,
Okay.
I see.
Okay, well, the simple answer is this. You go Tenacity in top lane. You go
Oh, because you can't fudge because of no Australians.
bingo. So you
Oh
go,
my gosh.
yeah. Well, I'm fine with Tenacity top. That's perfectly fine for me. Tenacity, Spica, Bjergsen. Oh, wait, no, Bjergsen's,
Well, wait, you're picking Spica over Blabber?
Oh, I forgot Blabber. Sorry, yeah, Blabber. Oh, I'm dumb.
Well, I was
Blabber.
gonna say, like, I'm willing to debate this out, but like...
No. You're right. You're right. So Tenacity, Blabber,
Blabber.
Palafox, because Palafox is the only American/Canadian mid.
Jojo, I thought.
Oh yeah, JoJo. Depends.
Bro, you keep skipping over our good options.
Well, does JoJo have COVID?
I mean, who cares if he has COVID? Bro?
If he has COVID, I'm not picking him. I'm not touching him with a 10-foot pole.
Hey,
If
he
does
just
not.
had COVID and he's done it. According
Okay,
to the
fine.
people I hear in the army, you can't get COVID for like another year and a half, buddy. You're
So
fine.
then yeah. So okay. So let me reset. Tenacity, Blabber, JoJo, Double Lift, Busiel.
Bro. Not Vulcan.
Synergy over anything. Double Lift and Busiel. I know that's a tough sell. I completely understand you taking Vulcan, but I'm doing it because I want Double Lift to be the most comfortable possible, and I'm putting Busiel with him.
I'd just rather have Vulcan, I feel like.
That's fine.
So we'll just act like we have the same bottom line.
Basically, yeah.
We'll just pretend like they're at the same level, whatever it is, and then we'll, like, how far do we think this team goes?
At like
When we built it out, I really, I'm not as like happy about it as.
I mean, I'm happy with it. It's basically
It's good.
It's a side-graded 100 Thieves, basically.
I'd say it's an upgrade. JoJo over Bjerg.
Oh, okay.
Blabber over Closer?
JoJo over Bjerg is a clear upgrade. Blabber and Closer, I think it depends. If you get Closer in playoff form, I think they're closer than you think.
Yeah, but Closer, I've seen him at Worlds with an A.
I've seen Blabber at Worlds.
Yeah.
Like, let's not act like it's all that much better.
Did we send Spica then?
True.
Spica, I mean, I know his
one
team
chance
got
is a 10-man sleep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we send Spica with competent people, do we think they can win?
I guess. Probably. I think he's like your sub. Like, without question, he is your sub.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other player that like I'm looking at like,
True.
we need
because
a backup for.
because if Blabber like goes in and ends game 1, I think
Closer's
you
going
just throw
in immediately.
Spica, you mean?
Or Spica, sorry.
Yeah,
Spica's
you just
going
throw him in and you let it be. Like, don't even sweat it.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's gonna suck because when we say our import team, they're probably gonna curb stomp these guys. Like,
yeah.
Although shouldn't Fudge count? Because he's not an import. Like.
No, but he's still Australian. It like is.
So does he count on the? So can we have him on the import team?
On the import team, yeah. I'm willing to count.
No, he wouldn't get rejected by Australia. He's the best Australian top. Easy.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah, he's getting picked up by Australia, so we can't have him. I feel like. So our reject team, I think, would start with Impact or Someday.
Impact.
Who are we going?
Impact. Don't even question it. Impact. Come on.
Impact, and then give me closer. Although I feel like he'd go Turkey.
No, Turkey would take him in a heartbeat.
Well, who else does Turkey have?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I feel like they probably have another guy, but we'll act like they'll take him because why wouldn't they? Bro, Turkey's team would kind of be raw though. Broken Blade if he doesn't play like a goober.
Actually, Manimal brings up a good point. We could get inspired because EU wouldn't take him.
Well, his country would though, right?
Okay, but the problem with this example is like we blended North America or we blended all of NA together, so therefore I'm blending all of EU together.
Oh, good point. So we could take closer then.
Well, no,
Because Turkey its own thing.
Yeah, Turkey. Or no, Turkey got
Okay.
folded into EMEA.
I thought they did.
They did. You're right. Yeah, so we can keep closer then. Yeah.
Yeah, so we get closer. I feel like Australia should be us because they folded into us. No. I'm
No.
trying to get Fudge really
No,
hard here because Fudge opens our ceiling a lot. I feel like.
No, because Oceania
Oh, you're
now
right.
feeds into. Yeah, they feed into like they're basically the winner of their series gets a playoff spot in.
You're right.
What is it? I forget which region it is, but yeah, they wouldn't.
Impact, and then give me inspired for the synergy argument.
Yeah.
Same one we had last time because, like, I would say like we've seen Impact and Inspired win a championship together, so I'll just take it.
And I think Closer is your clear sub that you put like if Inspired starts faltering at all.
Yep.
Closer just goes in and wrecks shit.
Exact same contingency plan as last time. It's the exact same contingency plan. And then mid is mid for NA? MNS.
Yeah, I think MNS
Right?
has to be your because he's not.
And this is where we'll have to debate, bro. I low key want to take Prince
over Berserker.
I kind of want to take Prince over Berserker.
Let's figure out support first. Who we taking support?
True, because you could take Sven, couldn't you?
Exactly. And if you take Sven, you're taking Berserker.
You're taking Berserker.
Yeah.
Because your whole bot side mid knows how to play together.
Bingo.
I see.
Bingo. And I'm not fucking with that synergy.
Yeah, but I low-key think if you just plug and play Prince, he's better.
Look, like,
you see what I mean, though? I honestly think if you just throw him in there and let him, like, flail, they would be better. Like, you just take Prince Sven. They'll be fine.
No, I'm actually going to disagree because we have weak side top, but then we have aggressive mid jungle.
I got it.
I want weak side bot as well, and Berserker's better at playing weak side bot than Prince is.
Prince core, or
Sven.
Berserker Sven.
Well, do we get 2 subs for Worlds or 1? Just 1, right?
Just 1.
So
you could take Prince core. You could take Prince core low key.
No, I'm not willing to give it that. No, I think core.
Still going Sven Berserker.
Yeah, I think core has fallen off really
hard.
Now,
do we think our import roster beats?
No, I think the North American roster actually beats the import roster.
I think it keeps up.
Oh no, I think we straight up beat them.
I think they could.
I think JoJo, Blabber, Tenacity is equal to Impact, in my opinion, in terms of their ability to pretty much just play weak side and then tank, at least at the moment. Blabber beats Inspired. JoJo beats MNS when he's not sick, at least as of right now.
Because we can't take Luger Poom.
Yeah.
They're.
Oh god, no.
They're not American.
Bot lane, I think is favored on the international side as of right now. Bot lane.
I just meant like it would have been cool if Luger was American because you could just chuck Luger and Poom in there. I think Luger's insane, man.
This split he had some ints.
True, he struggled this split.
This split,
and I'm keeping double because double's just playing out of his mind.
Yeah. Doublets is playing like a man on a fucking mission,
He is. He wants to prove people wrong.
which I love. But the problem is, what happens after this year when he's already proven everybody wrong? Then what?
Enjoy your time while it lasts, buddy.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, just enjoy it.
So that took a while, but what's the other viewer topic? Or subtopic? As always, we say it's going to be quick and then it's not.
The other one was if you were to advertise LCF playoffs right now, what would be your top priority? So there's 4 of ideas he gave as well.
Okay.
So 1 is decals, like the Rangers Hurricane game.
No.
2 is a sponsored video content on podcast/YouTube videos.
No.
3 is basic pre-vid ad runs on Twitch and YouTube. And 4 is merch ideas, like Dave brought up with local popular teams to finals. Well, 4 is going to be the one you're going to pick because it's our idea.
I think 4. I don't think you care about the online audience. I think the online audience will naturally come just as a byproduct of it being LCS finals weekend and it being in a stadium. My biggest thing is I want when people go on social media to just like lose their shit in the same way that people were losing their shit at the Brazilian CS major. Like I want drunk college kids in there cheering their fucking ass off the entire time. So I'm investing every bit of advertising that I have in the North Carolina area, at college campuses, at everything else. Hell, I'm you know what I'm doing? I'm spending all of that marketing money, and 70% of it I'm renting out party buses. And I'm literally party busing kids or college kids into the stadium and giving them a discounted ticket. Fill up like the 300 level. Like the 300 level doesn't have anybody in it right now. Just fill up the 300 level and just have it go berserk.
I mean, if you mixed 1 and 4, like the decals and the t-shirts idea, like I think you could pull quite a few of people. Like you could pull quite a bit. I do like 1. I think you just combine 1 and 4 and run it.
Agreed. Manimal, Danny Spring 2022 or Double If Now? Double If Now.
Double If Now, because, well...
Danny 2022 will get smashed in the current meta with laning. I don't think he'd be able to keep up. I think the game will be over before he becomes relevant. Now, granted, if he had another full year to develop, then maybe it's a different story. But not the world we live in.
Yeah, and I mean, just I guess Danny was clutch back then. I don't know what you even say, because Danny really was the future.
He was.
Really was.
Now he's a content creator, so.
For EG.
Yep. It sucks.
You're welcome.
It sucks. But
it wouldn't be us talking about League of Legends if I didn't say something that could get you in trouble at some point.
Of course, but that's fine. If I get in trouble, we'll deal with it when the time comes.
True.
Okay. Anything else you want to cover?
I mean, we kind of talked about it all. Like, we're just gearing up for playoffs at this point.
I know. I'm ready. I'm nervous. Especially with Courage on the cast tomorrow, which, by the way, fucking love it.
We didn't even...
Courage is casting again, and it just makes me so happy.
I didn't even mention the scheduling times. Low-key comedy gold. Like, I know it is what it is. There's, like, they don't have to do next week that way, kind of. They're just doing it.
Actually, next week is the week that they have to do it that way because Valorant starts next weekend. So the LCS arena is booked. Booked Saturday.
So we're literally just being thrown out to the side already.
Yeah, we have to be on Thursday, Friday.
I think it's comedy.
You should fucking go elsewhere so you can do it on the weekends.
Yeah. I think it's hilarious.
Hold up. I've got I'll show you a preview for a video that I did. Are you able to tune in the stream at all, by chance?
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Okay. Let me play you a video that I made talking about this specific thing, but let me just play the first 2 seconds. I think you'll find it, or not the first, like the first 15 seconds. Are you able to hear that or no? Or is it quiet?
Yeah. Well, hear what?
The video.
Big fan of taking.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Oh. I'm listening. Yeah.
Okay.
Of.
I keep having this nagging feeling that I've forgotten something.
Hey, if you forgot it, it probably wasn't all that important.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not a big fan.
So I asked a hypothetical to the 100th thought.
What did he say?
We kind of forgot that Canada existed for the LCS. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean,
True. It's true.
we could have went to Canada for the weekend and like had some games on the weekends there. It would have filled out.
I mean, like I cannot believe that I don't know, really the most played game in the world is being subjected to Thursdays, Fridays. Like, this is the kind of torture you don't put people through, in my opinion. After doing a full split of it, of regular season, I feel like we as fans can say our opinions, and I'm just gonna say it. Move on. Move on, because at this point, if TSM leaves LCS and we're still doing Thursdays, Fridays, you're low-key making it hard-pressed for me to even watch. I have no team. I can barely watch the games because I have a job. That's my fault, apparently. Like, what do you want me to do? I hate watching the games back on VOD. I hate it. And I've been doing that all season because I like the game so much.
I'll be honest. I think I'm going to put a bold prediction out there. And to be very clear, this is not based off of any evidence whatsoever. This is me just speculating based on my own personal feeling. I think we're back to weekends next year.
Have to be.
I don't see any world where we stay on weekdays. I get the argument of, oh, it's too much league on, Saturday, Sunday for people, and that we need to, or fans need a break and everything. It's like, nah, like, fucking cater to the NA fans more. Have it on Saturday, Sunday in a time that's truly best, that fills up the stadium. Have it toured. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I really don't. But it's like, god damn, like the weekday move continues to prove itself to me that it just was not it.
I think it's sad to say it, but it's time to move LCS to Chicago.
Just move. I'm fine with it being in LA so long as it goes elsewhere. There's one thing that like really.
Yeah, but I live 2 hours from Chicago. It's time to move LCS to Chicago. 20 ping, 10 ping, really 8 ping. You want to play like a Korean? Come to Chicago.
I need to watch my words carefully when I say this, so I really don't piss people off. I don't like the fact that the LCS crowd is the same people every weekend. I'm happy that people get the chance to go. By all means, I am. But like, you're not exposing the product to anybody new. Like the parties and everything after the events, great ideas. And I'm sure there are some people that travel to come see it in LA, but it's so much easier, and Riot has the resources to take the LCS to other people. And I think that's where you develop your consistent following outside of just like the people that like. And I guess here's the secondary point to that. Like, people were complaining that, oh, the stadium gets empty whenever the teams of the fans in the arena aren't playing. It's like, yeah, that's the point. Because it's the same people there week in and week out for the most part. So it's like, yeah, they're going to stay and watch their team and then dip because they can go back the next weekend without problem. If Paul or I get the chance to watch a weekend of LCS in our area, we're going to stay for every fucking game because we don't know when we're going to get that chance again. You don't leave early unless there's like a big signing that you need to do. But even then, Riot's going to know that and like plan around it. Like, you got to get this shit out to more people than just in LA. I know it's going to cost money. I know it's difficult, but we've got to find a way to do it. We really do.
That's why I also think, though, like, unironically saying it, I know I said it as a joke earlier, but moving it to like a Chicago type at least puts you in an area that's more accessible. Like,
Oh yeah.
Chicago, being in Chicago, it's a way cheaper flight for you, one,
Yep.
to go there, or anybody who lives in New York City. And Chicago, New York City, and Atlanta are huge amounts of the population of America, like, that you're just losing out on. Like, just a lot of people not being touched. I get it, LA is big and it's supposed to be tech culture, but there's a reason Riot moved their servers to Chicago for our region.
Yep.
There's a reason. And something tells me they should be moving to the East Coast, because you don't move your whole region to like the Midwest, or really I'm going to say East Coast side, because everyone considers us East Coast. I get told I'm East Coast out here all the time. I'm from Indiana. I'll tell them, I'm from Indiana, and they go, you're East Coast. It's like, okay, buddy, I don't think you realize I'm 8 hours from the ocean, but cool. And
Do me a favor and look at the stream real quick.
80% live here.
That's all you need to fucking know.
Yep.
80% of America lives right of this line. 20% lives over here.
Ooh.
You are not making it accessible to the majority of Americans by consistently having it in LA. And I'm sorry, but I will never not believe that that the way to profitability is not through the fans themselves.
And you can even pay players less because taxes are a bit less. No, I'm kidding. But like, the orgs will save money in the Midwest. Like, you could literally just come to the Midwest or go like East Coast. Like, you could pick Atlanta, Chicago, or New York City. You could pick one of those.
You couldn't do New York. New York would be just as expensive
Probably
as LA.
not,
But even then, you'd probably get more people in New York.
But that's what
than
I'm
LA.
meaning. Like, you'd have more people who would care, or at least be able to go there. Like, I can actually make New York happen from my current place of living, even though it's expensive and tough to get there. It's less expensive than having to go across the country on that's like a 6-hour flight for me.
Yeah.
Way longer for you.
I think it's almost 6 hours on the dot for me. Direct flight.
Really?
Yeah, direct flight to LA is 6 hours.
So it might be 5 for me, but still, a 5-hour flight is kind of insane.
Yeah.
To watch some League of Legends.
To Manimal's point, he said, "Don't pick New York; it's too expensive to visit." I don't think you're understanding the point of putting it in New York. Is that you don't have to worry about people traveling because we have more than enough people here to already fill it. Like, that's the point. Like, that's why you visit New York consistently. That's why I've been pushing, like, you have some sort of, like, yearly thing for the LCS in New York.
Yeah. And that's kind of my same reason for, like, Chicago. Instead of Atlanta, because Chicago's huge. Like, Chicago is built for that. And Chicago makes it easier for them to do traveling games. Yep. Instead of getting your players, like, super long traveling distances, it's a lot easier to do it from the middle of the America. I guess it's not the middle, but it's the middle-ish. Like,
yep.
And your graph kind of says enough. Like, your graph is kind of one of those, like, mic drop things. Like,
yeah, you just look at it, it's like, Come on.
80% of your player base is on this side of the line. I'm not sure how Canada would fold into that, but
Canada even more so, yeah. Everybody's in like that
they're on the east as well.
yeah.
Then yeah, like what are we doing here? Why are we wasting everybody's time and making this so hard?
I don't know.
Like you already lost the studio. Like let's be honest.
Yeah.
You're not being pushed to the right a little bit. You've lost the studio or the left, my bad. You are gone, done. Give it up. It's whatever. Like you have been pushed out. The studio's not even yours anymore. They're basically hoping Valorant uses the space to do something better. You might as well call it quits and go find your own way. Like I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know.
It's not like the studio's that good. Like
The studio's nice, I will say. It like
no,
it
I'm
is.
saying it's nice, but it's not like it's you can only fit so many people in it.
Manimal,
It's
you
not
can,
like the
you can steal
crowd.
whatever you want. That's perfectly fine.
I'm saying like the pulling the crowd, like the
Yeah,
crowd size in it isn't enough to make me excited.
I will say this: the crowd at LCS, I respect the people that go and cheer. By all means, good.
Yeah, because they're trying to save it.
They're trying. I just feel like you're naturally going to get more energy with a New York crowd, or an Atlanta crowd, or like literally any other city. Like LA's just too chill, and like people. I know people. Remember when people got mad because that one girl was like screaming in the audience?
Yeah.
It's like imagine like the reason why people found that annoying was not because she was screaming, but because she was the only one
The
screaming.
only person screaming.
Yeah, and then
That's
then
what
it
we
sounds
talked about.
yeah. Then
Yeah.
then it, like it's then it's grating to the ear. But if everybody's doing it like they
Yeah.
do at the LEC studio for G2 anytime they play or Koi or Fnatic, it's like then it's cool. Then it's hype.
Mhm.
But like you need multiple people to do that, and the LA crowd clearly just doesn't fucking get it.
No, and you throw that's another reason why you could throw it up here is because we have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Like you might as well put it somewhere where there's not a nightlife already and all this stuff to do. Like put it somewhere where like sports is really all we got. Like when you travel somewhere in the Midwest, you know it because you're from the Rust Belt types. Like people breathe this stuff. Like football on this side of America is like a different breed than football on the West Coast. Like football
Yeah.
on the West Coast is crazy. Don't get me wrong. I know there's the 12th man in Seattle and all that, but I just mean people
It's
out
not the
here are
same.
like they're like shoving it down your throat that this is all they care about. Like
Like
people will call Jim Irsay, like because we haven't had a good QB in 5 years, we call him a traitor to the city.
Yep.
Like we are psychopaths when it comes to like sports. We just want to win.
yeah.
Like even the Browns fans were still going to games.
I know. Bless their souls. They've gone
Yeah.
through such a rough stretch. I mean, to their credit, they have Ohio State, so they can fucking
True.
suck it for all I give a shit. But like, it just
True, and Detroit fans, psychos.
no. If we want to talk about fucking psychopaths, let's start with Philly.
True, Philly fans are crazy.
Philly fans are the worst out of
They are.
anybody. Literally the worst out of anybody.
Yep.
They will win a Super Bowl. Philly could have an LCS title team or that goes on to win worlds, and they'll burn the city down out of celebration.
They're the only people who save face for us. Cause like indie fans, like the second a guy's out, we're booing him.
Yep.
And we're always called like rude for that. Like when Paul George came back, we booed him. Peyton Manning came back and we booed
the
him
shit out.
against Andrew Luck.
Yep.
Because we were like, because once you're gone, we're like, we're trying to win again. We're like, you're not a part of the plan. Goodbye.
Yep.
It was fun. Like that's just how it goes out here. Like I don't know, but
It's a different level, and like
it is.
you can just tell because it's like it's all I swear it's all a certain type of people that are just like
Yeah.
I'm fans of the players and not the teams, and it's like it's just a cultural difference. It really is. Like
Yeah, that's
people
the
were-
LA side.
like everybody's like, oh well, why would I cheer for the teams? What do they do for me? I don't know. What the fuck do my sports teams do for me other than break my heart? Nothing.
Yep.
But that's the point. They don't have to do anything. They're just your fucking team. And if you have to say more than that, you don't get it. That's it. 100 Thieves was my team. They don't have to do shit for me. They could mistreat me. They could abuse me. They will be my team.
That was why when people were like, how can you still watch TSM when you know what they did? It's like, because I've literally seen worse and still had to watch teams on professional sports teams. Like, I don't think people realize I literally, as a child, watched the Malice at the Palace. And I still woke up the next day and said, Pacers are going to win it all. And I was confident in that as a 6-year-old. And my grandma was like, damn right they are. And she sat there and she was like, well, they all got suspended. And she was like, it's because they're a bunch of idiots. It's their fault. And we sat there and we watched the Pacers still suck without any good players left. Because that's what you do. That's grit. You take the losses in the middle of winter with no sun for months and you shove them down your throat and like it. But you just don't see that in League. Like,
no. And
you
that's
don't
why
see fans push through.
That's why I like it's so much easier for me to support the teams too, because it's like if League were to dry up, if the LCS for some reason ceased to exist in like 5 to 10 years, there will be something else. Like it's not like there's not gonna be. And it's like if I have faith in a team to like navigate that and find the next big thing, I'd rather do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is going on long, and I need to get this exported over to YouTube. So
Yeah, sounds good.
thank you everybody for tuning in. I know that last little bit where we said we were done and gonna move on lasted like another 30 minutes, as it always does with us. Next week I think I might try and get us a guest, just to have somebody to spitball some ideas off of, talk about the playoff series a little bit, and see if we can. Are you seeing Luna in the background?
Yes.
Luna, what are you doing?
She's happy.
Luna, what are you doing? She's living her life.
She is.
All right. Everybody have a good one. We will catch you next time. I will be live again likely on Saturday. And we'll see how things go from there. But hopefully 100 Thieves pull this out. Otherwise, it's going to be fucking depressing. So, adios.